Me and Sarah are not public speakers. We're a couple of salespeople from the UK who had a dream. I've been in the industry 20 years. Me and Sarah started Outstanding Branding 9 years ago, which is our 10th birthday this year. Cheer, cool.
Big whoop, big whoop. Thank you.
I drink too much. I swear too much. But fuck me, do I love our industry. Oh. Sorry. Oh. I've now fucked up as well.
Just skip one more. And I'm Sarah Penn, obviously, because I'm not Andy Thorne. I also drink too much. I also swear too much, but probably not quite as much as Andy. And I am, I think you would call it, super excited to be here today and speak to all you wonderful people. Thank you for having us.
So we're going to start with something that's never been done at skucon before. We can actually get you involved digitally. So can you all pull out your laptops, your phones, your tablets? I want you to go to slido.com, and we've got a question for you. And you're going to all answer this question, because otherwise we're going to fall flat on our face and look like a couple of absolute idiots. Basically, when you get to slido.com, put in the hashtag skucon19, and you'll be asked your first question. And that question is, have you ever travelled outside the US? Have we all got onto Slido? Is there enough bandwidth? Have they actually paid for an upgraded Wi-Fi package, or have they gone cheap?
So as Andy says, this has never been done before at skucon and possibly might never be done again. Okay, so we're really relying on you to help us make this successful, because I know the guys at Common Skew were really excited to trial it out. So hopefully...
So we're all on Slido. You've put your hashtag in, you've got the first question. Have you voted?
Anyone voting?
Can you just put your hands up if you've got there and you've done it?
Yep.
Lovely. So we've got a few votes. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
So
we can move on. You'll get the results in a moment. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what to expect today. Obviously, you've got a beer, which you may or may not have been expecting. If you've seen us before, you probably were expecting it. Sorry if people didn't all get a beer, by the way. We couldn't carry them all from the car. But what we want to do today is take you on a journey, a global journey that spans the globe. We cross continents, we cross seas, we cross oceans. We tell you a bit about our experiences of having expanded from a purely UK operation to having offices in New York and Amsterdam as well. We're going to tell you about some of the challenges we faced and how we overcame them, or sometimes absolutely failed to overcome them at all, in the hope that you guys can learn from the benefit of our experience. And I also want to talk to you later on about some of the minor cultural differences that we've come across in our journey across the globe, which I hope you'll find educational and entertaining.
So, we've had our first question, and now our AV guy is going to switch to the results of that. Look at that. 97% of people have actually travelled outside the US.
Wow. I am shocked. That just goes to show that stereotypes are not true, because in the UK we think that none of you have got passports, that you couldn't locate England on a map. You think we all know the Queen. I have actually been asked that a few times, actually. I think it's because I look so much like Kate Middleton that people get a little bit confused. I think that must be it. But that's amazing to hear.
That what?
It's amazing.
That you look like Kate Middleton?
Yeah, that's pretty fucking amazing.
Oh, the results. Sorry. Yeah, brilliant. Well, there you go. Bobby, Mark, next year. Get it fucking interactive, boys. Come on, fucking have it. So why did we go global? It's a question that people ask us, and sometimes I still ask the question myself. The world is getting smaller, whether you like it or not. We all see it. Great chat from Jay and Charity about how communities come together on social media. If you've got offices that are away from your home office, you probably connect via Skype or Zoom or your clients. You know, if you're talking to your clients, you don't have to actually be in the room. The world is getting smaller, and we saw that a lot of US distributors were asking for us to partner with them. So we clearly understood that the bigger US powerhouse clients were expecting a global solution for their promotional merchandise requirements. We don't do things how other people do them. So rather than just accepting them partnerships, we decided we would look at us doing it ourselves. And I suppose that's the reason we went global. Now, I'm going to take you back to 2011. I went on my first trip on my own to China. We were looking for a sourcing office so that we could source for the UK and EMEA, but also offer sourcing solutions to US distributors and other people. And it was an interesting trip. Obviously, no one speaks English, and my Chinese is fucking awful. I know I like a number 34 and a number 75, but that's...
I can't believe those are the numbers you went for, by the way.
And I love 69 as well, but that's something else. But it was an interesting trip, really interesting trip, and you know, something that we're going to ask you later about, you know, cultural differences. The reason I was out there was to say we were looking to set up a sourcing solution. There was a lot of hand signals between me and the people I spoke to, and also I nearly got ripped off. Got in a cab, needed to go to my hotel, and the cab driver tried ripping me off for an extortionate fare. I told him where to go, as you can imagine. That particular solution didn't work, and we found out that you have to put $50,000 into a Chinese entity. We're 2 years old, we didn't have 50 grand, just knocking about. 2015, we went to Ireland. We had a real opportunity with someone that wanted to drive the Irish business forward. A lot of the big tech companies use Ireland because of the tax exemptions. We thought to ourselves, well, it means that we can get into Europe without having to set up in mainland Europe. There was huge growth there, but unfortunately the person decided he would move to Australia and not take this opportunity. And then 2016, we went to Hong Kong and to look for a sales office to look after the APAC region. Again, same problem, people. The person that we wanted to align ourselves with and drive the Hong Kong sales office forward didn't align with our core values. And anyone that was here last year, we spoke about values, and they're so important to us. And I heard someone say earlier about that's how they manage their company. That's how we do. And if someone doesn't align to them values, go fuck yourself. You know, honestly, we don't. No, seriously, we don't want to know. It's so important to us. So yeah, we had 3 trips, and it just didn't happen. We are a company that, despite what people think, yes, we do drink too much, yes, we like to have fun and party, but we do plan. We do look at the risk and reward, and if it's not right, we can it, move on, look what's next. So, we obviously moved to 2017, and we did go global. We set up an office in New York, thus the Alicia Keys and Jay-Z song. You can see the resemblance. There's probably more Jay-Z and Alicia Keys than your Kate Middleton, isn't it?
All right, I was being ambitious.
You can't see Jay-Z in me? No, nor could I. So why did we set up in New York? Why did we go global? I go back to, again, 2009 when we started. We got sent an email from a big US software company saying they'd like samples, they'd like catalogues, they'd like a whole host of prices. And it's one of those emails where you think, oh, is it worth time, effort, energy, money? We just started, so we were chasing absolutely everything. So we spent the $50, we got a little pack together, sent it to them. We were the only company to do it from the UK. Just as well as did, that client become our biggest spending client, to 6 figures for the next 4 years. And because we give such a great service, because we actually, even back then before we had established the values, go to market the way we go to market. And when you have outstanding branding in your name, everything you do has to be outstanding. There's no compromise. So this company, they had a great service in the UK and EMEA. We'd send stuff from all around the world. They kept on asking us, can you look after us in the US? We're like, no, we don't have a supply chain. We don't have processes, procedures. We don't have anything to offer. So we fast forward to 2015, and we went to our first show, ASI, in Chicago. And we introduced to the legend that is Michelle Bell. And she put us in front of people that we shouldn't really have been put in front of. Some big hitters, some really kick-ass people in this industry in the US. And it made us realise that we can do this ourselves. We can build the supply chain. It coincided with our UK warehouse partner opening up in the US as well. And something that we always try to do wherever we go is make an impression. And we were invited to this party, and there was this guy there, and a really nice guy, Bill Karowitz from the Magnet Group. I had no idea who he was.
You touched him up, though.
Touched him up, kissed him. His wife even told me he doesn't like physical contact. Bill had no choice, none whatsoever. The next night, we went to the Council Awards, and Bill was given the Person of the Year. That's the type of people we were put in front of. It just made us realise that we can do this. This US company decided that they would want us to do it in the US for them. So we pitched again, we did it properly, we proposed what we were going to do, and we opened up. So how hard can it be to run a global business? Sounds great, doesn't it? We've been put in front of all these people, we've got this client that wants to spend big six figures in the US. We put this plan together. It can be fucking hard. Like you can't believe. Honestly, that client, they basically had their budget stopped overnight. Our UK sales manager was going to move to the US and drive the US business, and he was badass. We've met some good people here, but he was absolutely brilliant. He decided that he didn't want to come, and we'd spent a year putting everything into place, visas and everything else. Overnight, the global dream fucking crashed, absolutely crashed. The stress strain on me and Sarah, we're self-funded, and everything we do, we plough back into this crazy industry that we love. What did we do? Well, as I say, we plan and we're nimble, and basically we're not scared to change that plan, adjust it. And today, we're now staffed by local people in New York. We have local knowledge. We're now actually turning a profit after what was £250,000. We'll call it an investment, but most people might call it a loss. It was fucking... The accountant keeps calling it an investment, but it feels like a big kick in the bollocks. It really does. However, we're turning it around, and what we're able to do now is offer a global solution. We can compete with those companies that are bigger than us. They're not better, they are bigger, most definitely, but we are good at what we do. So then, obviously, I'm going to be controversial because I'm going to split the room. Like you decided to get Donald Trump as your president, we decided to have a referendum on Brexit. And we have no idea what the fuck Brexit is, by the way. Not a clue. So this is not going to be an education on Brexit. We don't know what's going to happen.
Do you guys all know what Brexit is? Yes?
You've heard about it. You've heard about it. But if anyone does know, please find me
after. Tell us. Yeah. We are fucking clueless.
Because we haven't got a clue. Not a clue. But all of our clients keep spitting everywhere. All of our... I need a drink, don't I? All of our clients...
You also need to speed up a little bit, by the way. Yeah, I reckon so.
All of our clients were asking for us to have a solution for when Brexit happens on March 29th. So we saw it as an opportunity. Because most of our industry in the UK have done fucking nothing, absolutely nothing. They're not doing anything.
They're moaning about it a lot.
They're moaning about it like people do. They're negative people that moan. Well, it's happening, do something. So we opened an office in Holland. Obviously, it's tulips, clogs, windmills, and weed. And a lot of sex as well. Do you know what I mean? So they're the reasons. And basically, we can say to our clients, we do have a solution now. We're able to buy and sell in euros. We're able to disregard any customs duties and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's why we've got to the places we have. We look at threats and opportunity, and can we turn one into the other? You've heard enough from me. You're actually going to now listen to the person that's got half a brain.
And less than half the time now. But,
less than half the time,
anyway.
Yeah. This is the other thing. When we obviously went through this, and when I start talking, I don't fucking shut up. All right.
See? It's also stolen literally half my material, but anyway. So Andy has touched on, in great detail, about some of the challenges that we've faced along the way. We're very, very different people, as you can probably tell, and I'm a lot more of a detail person. I like to analyse, I like to look at things, and so I've basically split the challenges that we faced into three kind of broad areas to make it a little bit easier, and we'll talk through those three areas.
Don't talk as much as you were going to talk before, because you haven't got enough time.
I'm trying to speed it up. You're fucking taking more time. So, number one, financial challenges. It's probably not a great surprise, but opening new offices, expanding, everything costs money. Now, you guys are not idiots. You all know that. Everyone's nodding. But just to go through some of the financial things that we weren't anticipating. So, for example, in the US, your salaries are ridiculous. I mean, I should realise this because you happily pay $8 plus sales tax plus a 15% tip for a coffee. Do you know what I mean? I understand why. But we didn't realise that pretty much your salaries are double what they are in the UK for equivalent roles. So that was something that took us a little bit by surprise. And when you say things like that out loud, you think, what an idiot, why didn't we look at that? But anyway, that was a bit of an eye-opener. One of the other things is how many countries really require an initial investment before you can open even an entity there. So as we mentioned earlier, China wanted $50,000, and that's not $50,000 that you can then use your business. That's $50,000 you have to show in an account as basically security or surety or whatever. And there were other European countries that had similar requirements, which was another one. But it wasn't just the weed that attracted us to Amsterdam. It was it was tax advantageous, and also they didn't require a massive input initially. Other financial challenges, it didn't help that the client we were expecting to spend $500,000 decided they weren't going to spend $500,000. But I cannot overemphasize the impact that had on our UK business, which was financially sound and financially strong. But that kind of impact was phenomenal. It kind of coincided with something that happened in the UK promo industry that you guys probably all know a little bit about, where BDA bought Dukes of London. Dukes of London were close to administration or in administration when that happened, and effectively they were bought and the bills were not honoured. So our supply chain lost, estimates vary, but around £3 million overnight. The top suppliers were understandably nervous. So at a time where we were under pressure financially and needed to look to our supply chain to help us with large credit values and perhaps slightly longer payment terms, they were trying to rein everything in. It was a very, very scary time. I actually had a call from one of our vendors, so I should say vendors because you guys call them vendors. I had a call from one of my our top vendors when I was walking home from the tube stop one night to ask me how much my house was worth and how much was left on my mortgage, because that was going to determine whether they were going to continue to lend us credit or not. So that was not a happy time. So again, what we did was we thought about it creatively. We turned the threat into an opportunity, and what we decided to do was something I don't think anybody in the UK industry has ever done. We invited our top 20 suppliers in to visit us, and we had a presentation. We pretty much had to resell the concept of outstanding branding and say, this is why you should believe in us. These are our figures. This is, honestly and transparently, this is what's happened. This is why it's happened, and this is what we're doing to turn things around and move on. And happily, fortunately, every single one of them believed us. That made it sound like we were lying. They believed in us, and they continued to support us. But that was an incredibly stressful time. Andy had a massive afro before that time, and it was that bad. He lost the lot. So yeah, so there's a multitude of financial impacts and challenges, as you can imagine. The next one is people, or as we refer to them, fucking people, because they don't always do what you want them to do. So Andy touched on the sales manager. It was a brilliant UK sales manager. He was so driven, so excited about leading our US business forward. We spent so long back and forwards making sure we had the right visa, that we had the right, we were going to rent his apartment in New York, we were going to do this, we were going to do that. And literally after about a year, he said, the problem is I don't really want to marry my girlfriend, so I would have to marry her for her to come with me, and I don't really want to, so I'm not going. They're now fucking engaged, so just thanks for that. But you cannot rely on people. Some of the other challenges is having the right people around you externally as well. So when you go to another country, you don't know anything about payroll, you don't know anything about tax, about HR, about legal, about your freaky medical insurance thing that we don't have in the UK. I go to the doctor It's free. Imagine. Well, I say free. We've obviously paid massive amounts of tax for it, but anyway. So you have to get good advisors around you. So what we did was we joined an organisation called British American Business, who, as you might be able to guess, support organisations that trade on both sides of the Atlantic, and through that we made a great network of people who could support us with all those issues we knew nothing about. The final thing about people was, if we're going to focus on the US business, we can't take our eye off the ball in the UK. And we identified that our management team at the time was not strong enough. They were a young management team, they weren't that experienced, but we needed to be able to trust them. So we invested heavily in training, internal and external. We have a business coach that comes in and mentors them through different challenges that they face, so that we could really focus our energy and effort on the new ventures. And finally, time. Everything takes longer than you think it's going to take. And again, you all know this. But opening up the entity in Holland took a year. There was no reason for it to take a year. They estimated 4 to 6 weeks. But they just don't do anything in a fucking hurry. Seriously.
Stoned, a lot of them.
Stoned. Barry, the notary.
Absolutely stoned.
Off his box, constantly. It just took so bloody long. Other time challenges are time differences. Again, you know this. You actually have time zones in your country, which is, again, weird. We just don't really do that. So when we started in New York, we didn't have enough volume of sales going through to have a customer service rep. So our lovely customer service reps in the UK were very happy to work 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. for a period of time while we built that side of things up. There was something else about time, but I've run out of it because of Andy.
Bob, we ain't going to be finished in 5 minutes, so you can fucking turn your timer off. Honestly,
there's a countdown timer. It's stressing me out.
It ain't happening, so you might as well turn it off. It ain't happening. Do you know what I mean? We'll be finished when we're finished. And no one's going to argue because I bought the beers. So.
So, what should you guys do? Well, having listened to us and how fabulously fun the whole thing has been, you probably just want to carry on doing what you are doing. However, I would honestly encourage you to all think creatively and look outside whatever boundaries you currently have. You've got a massive country, and maybe some of you are, focused on one particular state or one particular area. Why? You actually understand the shit that goes on here. Think bigger. And look at the threats that come along, like we looked at Brexit, and try and turn it into an opportunity, because there is gold out there. You just have to dig and find it.
Right, so we're going to go back now into getting you involved again. And this time, can you get back onto Slido.com? You should all have it in your browser. You should have it in your phone. Quickly log on, because as much as I give it Billy Big Bollocks about time, I'm sure Mark and Bobby and Catherine want us to fuck off the stage. So, can you understand our accent? You probably can't understand mine, but log on.
That's why we've written it up there.
We've actually given you 3 choices on this one, 3 choices, so you can only choose one of them. I hope someone does choose the third one. Can you understand our accent?
Read it. If you can't understand...
Yeah, I'd say if you can't understand a fucking word I've said, that's why I put words up here. And I'm sure not all of you are illiterate. Someone can read. Illiterate, is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're worried you got it muddled up with illegitimate, aren't you?
Yes, I did, yeah. And there's a lot of bastards in here, don't you worry about that.
Okay, so while you're thinking about whether you understand our accent, I mentioned earlier about cultural differences, and there are a lot of them. And I wanted to share some interesting experiences that we've had. It's often been said that the UK and the US are 2 nations divided by a common language. Hell yes. There are words and phrases that we use, like Andy just said Billy Big Bollocks, and I bet you're all thinking, what did he say? What the fuck's that? And there's so many of them, we just use them in daily life, and we have to really think about it. So we have to remember to ask for the cheque and not the bill, and that we're walking on the sidewalk and not the pavement, and that we need to find the elevator and not the lift, and that you have the postal service that delivers the mail, and we have the mail that delivers the post. I don't know why. Neither it makes sense, to be fair. None of it. And I just wanted to let you know some of the words that we use that that you guys don't seem to understand, and a really common one that happens constantly is doodah. So for us, it probably sounds quite rude actually, think about it, but doodah is just a thing when you can't remember the word for something, and you think, oh, can you just pass me the doodah? Nobody gets that. There are also other things. So I was talking to a lovely lady last night who told me that they have in their office something they call Blue Friday. And apparently this is when the local team are playing, and they obviously play in blue, so everyone goes into the office in blue. You say Blue Friday to an English person, pornography. That's all we hear. Yes, lady looks shocked, but that is what blue is porn.
Yeah, porn. Yeah, porn. People think blue movie. That's what they think, blue movie. They think, fucking hell, we're coming at work today and watching Pornhub. You know what I mean? Apparently that's a site you can go onto to watch porn. I wouldn't know, by the way.
Apparently. One of the things I love telling Americans about as well is we have this great thing in the UK called Cockney rhyming slang. Anyone heard of Cockney rhyming slang? 1, 3, no, 4, 5. More hands coming up, people are getting brave. So you guys, some of you guys know a little bit about it. So Cockney rhyming slang allegedly was invented by criminals in the East End of London in a bid to fool the police so the police wouldn't understand what they were saying. This was a long time ago, but basically an example, classic example, apples and pears means stairs because it rhymes. There is no reason why apples and pears equals stairs other than it rhymes. But then we shorten it, so bread and honey is money, but we would just say bread. That has nothing to do with money, but if you say that to an English person, they all know what you're talking about. And again, it's so ingrained, we use it, and we get the looks that I'm getting right now. Jack Jones, on your jacks. Oh, you're on your jacks tonight? Means Jack Jones alone, obviously.
And then we fast forward, and the reason why this kettle is here, none of you probably understand what this is. This boils water, by the way. You put water in it, and it boils to a temperature that's hotter than a coffee machine. Because all you lot, you fucking try and boil water. We obviously come over once a month for a week, and we like tea. Yeah, we're British. We like tea. Not your tea, our tea. We literally...
Because your tea is disgusting.
Piss. Absolute piss.
It's actually insulting.
You have so many great things. You're great people. You're a great country.
Your food is incredible.
Your tea is piss.
Bollocks.
Sorry. So what happened was, we were like, well, we'll go and buy a kettle. We're sick and tired of sticking the water through the coffee machine.
We're now out of time.
I know. Fuck it. I told them I'm not going until I finished. There's no point in doing that either, Bob. Do you know what I mean? That means nothing to me. So we're like, how hard in New York where you can get anything 24 hours a day?
Allegedly.
So I go into this shop. I'm honestly, we trawled New York trying to find a kettle. Go in this shop and I say to the man, do you sell kettles? And this shop is full of fucking all sorts. Honestly, there was...
all sorts.
All sorts of shit.
Move on.
So anyway, I said to the man 3 times, do you have a kettle? And he looked at me and went...
So then he looked at me and I said, kettle? And
no, we don't sell kettles.
No, we don't have them. It's okay. We can shout.
See, the thing is, I've got a big fucking mouth. You don't need to cut me off. I'll still talk. Unless someone's going to wrestle me off the stage, and good luck with that one.
We'll move on.
We'll move on. Don't worry, Mark. We'll move on. So, right, here we go. The results of Can You Understand Accent. There was 3 choices. Did you understand? Yes.
Thank you all. You are actually my people. So I will, move on. We haven't got time for Q&A, Jesus Christ. So I'll move on very briefly to a conclusion. The world is clearly getting smaller. We've had so much fun going global. We've had a lot of challenges, but we have had some amazing experiences as well. So again, please just all think creatively, think outside your comfort zone, think outside your boundaries, because going global is closer than ever to becoming a necessity. So do it and have fucking fun doing it. Thank you very much.
You want some questions or no questions? Do you want questions or no questions?
Questions?
Do you want any questions?
Yeah, just a few. We have just time for just a few.
You don't have no time, Bob.
You knew we were going to go
on. Time at all.
2 questions. Questions, anyone?
Anyone got a question?
Ooh,
right over here.
The British Promotional Merchandise Association is the English. You can't understand me, so it doesn't matter.
Is it easier if I say it? Because
It
people
probably
tend
is.
to understand me better. There's some nods.
Yeah,
So it's called
you answered the question.
The British Promotional Merchandise Association, the BPMA. That's the trade association in the UK. And it's PSI. I don't know what it stands for, to be honest, but PSI, promotional...
Sex industry.
Probably.
Okay, wait, one more question. One more question.
Not a fucking clue.
Sam in the back.
Oh my God, that's like a sensible question.
Repeat, of all the markets, what, Sam?
What's the biggest growth opportunity?
Most growth opportunity.
It's got to be the US, isn't it? Because you're a $24 billion industry, and no disrespect, because all the people in here are fucking amazing. But there is a lot of fucking idiots in your industry here. You lot aren't. You're fucking good at what you do. There's a lot of absolute...
No, don't say it.
Okay, well, thank you, Andy and Sarah.
I'll give you a clue.
This has been really good.
I'll give you a clue. He's cut me off. Thank you, mate.
Get your kettle. Thank you.
You can see why they're two of my favorite people in the world. I don't recommend going drinking with them, though. That's just a heads up. I don't recommend that.